Well, I think you always go for the home state. I think the Eagles.
Robbo?
Yeah, I'm a bit of an Eagles man, but don't discount Essendon because of their great record against the Eagles. So the bounce of the ball to start the match in the ruck there for Essendon was Lucas. So that's a little bit of a surprise. Alessio lining up at centre half forward for Essendon.
We always like to look at Essendon's forward setup. They're always creative. At the moment, they've got Scott Cummings playing forward pocket and actually no full forward.
So we'd probably, hopefully we can get a quick look at the Eagles interchange bench just to see what they are doing as far as their lineup is concerned. Essendon have got the ball to within scoring distance, but it's taken away by Downsborough. His kick not all that good, gathered by Banfield. He's well tackled there by Cummings. Umpire calls play on and away goes Downsborough once again. His kick goes back close to the wing. No mark taken there. Chance for Chris Danaher, tackled by Waterman. Ball spills now for Mitchell White. White's kick across his left shoulder is high. Lands at half forward. Bombers under a bit of pressure across their half-back line, but Harvey composed, gets it away to Fletcher. Fletcher's kick smothered off the boot. Kemp is there for the Eagles. He's a chance to get a possession here. Gets it away to Mitchell White. An umpire has called a free kick and it will go to Dean Kemp. Dean Kemp for the West Coast. He's 55 to 60 metres from goal. He kicks to half forward. Donnelly couldn't take the mark. Good tackle affected there. Still at centre half forward for the West Coast. This is Wanganeen and Harvey. Harvey tackled by Waterman. Ball spills to Matera. Mitchell White. Handball goes further back for Kemp.
Kemp looking to set this one up. Plenty of time now. Goes onto the right foot. Kicks the ball 30 metres out in front of goal. At the back was Darren Bewick playing an on-ball role. We'll probably see him up the other end of the ground very shortly. And coming in to take a pretty good mark down low was Justin Blumfield. He plays on quickly, kicks it into space. Barnard applies the pressure, but here comes Guy McKenna, the All-Australian halfback, and a spearing kick into David Hart. Sets up the Eagles, and away they go. Going forward this time, a very good mark to Andrew Donnelly under some pretty fierce pressure from Scott Lucas. Quickly plays on, looking for White, couldn't quite take it. Ben Cousins, great young player in the making, comes in, will probably shoot a goal. Nice handball back to Sumic. Round onto the right foot, now the left, looks at goal and scores one.
Great play by Cousins.
First goal to the West Coast Eagles, and as you say, Robbo, great play by young Ben Cousins.
And didn't the crowd erupt? They love Peter Subic over here when he kicks a goal, and it was a great awareness by Cousins. Really thought his way through the situation there, got past Fletcher, knew that he got past Wanganeen, and then really was going to get back onto his left foot, but really good kick. Good handball, I should say, then a good finish by Sumic to get the ball rolling.
Well, just some composure by a young player. Ben Cousins setting it up for Peter Sumic to get the first goal of the game. O'Donnell can't clear that congestion around the centre. This player can. Schofield goes towards full forward. Good kick. Sumic on the end of it. Couldn't take the mark. Punched away by Berbikoff. Still Sumic dragged off the football. No free kick. Berbikoff to defend to Chris Danaher. Short kick. Chance for Barnard. Handball down the boundary line. Lucas taken over by Donnelly, and the boundary umpire will throw it in on centre wing.
So a pretty fierce start here at Subiaco Oval. One goal to the Eagles. Essendon yet to register a score. Taking the front spot was Lucas. Banfield couldn't control it. Through comes Hardwick. Scrubber kick forward. Hetty playing his first game for 96. Back after a shoulder reconstruction. Gets a handball through. Metropolis over the top. Finds Donnelly with plenty of space. Quickly kicks the ball down to Mitchell White. Slightly off the side of the boot. Out of bounds on the full. As Joey Massey just clears the throat. With his hands on the share, and he'd be desperate to get on the ground.
So the kick back by Dustin Fletcher lands close to the wing. Schofield does well on O'Donnell. Still in the action is Schofield underneath there, dragged a little bit too high there by Scott Lucas. And Jarrad Schofield, who has certainly made his presence felt since becoming a fairly regular member of the West Coast side, takes the free kick. His kick goes close to half forward. Fletcher gathers, can't keep it in. So that boundary umpire will throw it in. don't know whether Dwayne Lamb can hear us, but maybe he can, as we have a look at the weather. We're looking for a confirmation as to what's happened with the West Coast side. We were told that Turnbull was out, but Bond didn't come onto the field when the players were warming up. Lovell with the ball, cleared there by Hart, struggle for possession. Hardwick has the football for Essendon, but the umpire is forced to bounce. And that looks like it might be Bond in the middle there. Sikora, Tony Evans for the West Coast. So we have confirmed that Turnbull out of the side. And Bond, who did play a full game in the WAFL yesterday, is on the bench at this stage. Hand pass wide, Chris Danner, tackled well by Schofield, gets the handball away. Donnelly should have nearly kicked, then decides on the hand pass in towards the middle of the ground. Metropolis gives away a bit of ground. Banfield, Gungiol kick towards half forward. Gather was by Lovell, tap on by Bewick, gives the Bombers a chance. Doolan's kick high, maybe marked by Mark Mercuri.
Mercuri takes it away, trying to play on quickly, looking for James Hird, centres the ball. Through comes Kemp, wasn't a great choice of kick from Mercuri. Kemp on the left foot, looking for Matera, pushing down from the wing. And that will be 50 metres. That's a pretty poor mistake early in the game, because this will set up Peter Matera for a shot at goal.
Yes, it is a poor situation, isn't it? I mean, it turns an 80-metre shot at goal from Matera into a pretty much a 25-30 metre shot, and just a bad discipline, bad morale. It's a real blow to Essendon should Matera kick the goal, and something Ben Doolan, I think, would like that second or two back.
Peter Matera just gets the bootlaces right. It's been all Eagles in this opening term. Essendon yet to really penetrate their forward line. But James Hird there, matched up on Fraser Gehrig. It's Peter Matera having a fine season on the half-back. Lines up for goal. Right through the middle for the Eagles' second. 2 goals straight, West Coast. Essendon yet to score.
Yeah, certainly all the momentum's been with the Eagles in this early part of the game. Their midfield is on top. Their half-back line has been fairly much impenetrable at this point, and really all the indicators are that the Eagles are really on the job today. It's going to be a tough, even from this point, for Essendon to get back.
27 possessions to 16. So 12 points to Essendon yet to score. The Eagles, good start. Up high was Donnelly. Kick forward for the Bombers towards half forward, taken by Heady. Hand pass away, David Hart. Beautiful job as a sweeper across that half-back, full-back line, and the kick was a beauty. It finds Donnelly, who did the ruck work. So a roving commission for Donnelly for the West Coast Eagles. His kick lands close to centre half forward. Sumic, good mark in front of Bewick. And the flags, the hands, the cheers, the Eagles supporters love Peter Sumic.
I think Peter Sumic could run for state premier and get elected. Every time I see him play for the Eagles at the moment, the crowd are just so much on his side, and second shot at goal in the early part of the game. He's doing his part today as well.
And it looks a pretty simple shot at goal for Sumic, but he has been known to just let himself down a little bit with these simple shots. Straight in front. Beautiful kick though. Makes no mistake, he's kicked 2.
Now by the umpire. Lucas gets his hand first on it. Waterman couldn't take it. Kemp's down there looking for a possession. But out comes Lucas and drives the Bombers forward into their forward 50 for the first time this afternoon. And Shea Cockatoo-Collins leads his play to the ball. Takes a mark 40 metres out from goal.
Just playing the front position, wasn't really the long kick forward. He just he really reacted quickly, Cockatoo-Collins, to get on the end of that long kick.
They came into the selected side 2 weeks ago against the Tigers after being dropped on Thursday night to become a match winner. And from 40 metres out, he's put it straight through the middle. The Bombers on the board.
It's just so important to get that first goal on the board, particularly with the blitzkrieg that the Eagles tend to have launched in these first 5 or 10 minutes of the game. But really, Essendon got the scoreboard ticking. Great for their morale. They really needed that because all the play was against them up till this point.
Mark Harvey was fierce too at his attack at the ball at that centre bounce. Looked as though he was trying to clean up Waterman. So 3-1, West Coast lead. Still very early in the game. Both sides still trying to search each other out. Matera tried the handball to Banfield, and now a free kick that will go to Peter Matera. So the umpire very quickly deciding that there was an infringement against the West Coast Eagles champion, Peter Matera. He's already kicked a goal. He's kicked towards the Sumich direction. Schofield should kick a goal here. Goes in and misses to the right. Disappointing finish there. Sumich contesting the mark. Schofield, the crumb gatherer, not able to convert. Gary O'Donnell for Essendon. 12.5 minutes left in the first quarter, and the central umpire maybe just checking a blood rule here, is he? Yes, you can see there Jarrad Schofield to go to the interchange bench. So a little bit of time here for the players to collect their thoughts, because the interchange player will first of all have to strip his blue tracksuit top. It's Tony Evans to come on, and of course he's got to be given a chance to take a position on the field, similar to Schofield, who is to be attended to by the medical staff.
Yes, and Tony Evans normally comes on after half-time in the last couple of weeks, as Gary O'Donnell kicks it to himself and runs the full 30 metres, looking forward. Pretty good mark there to Blumfield for his second kick for this afternoon. Kick into the middle of the ground, looking for her. Great mark out in front, played by Hayden Kennedy. Probably would have been infringed high anyhow. Long kick forward, looking for Cummings. Roll roved by Danaher, looking for the handball round the corner. Cummings again sets the shot from 40 metres out. It's a pretty good kick. Second goal for the Bombers. 3 goals, 1 to 2 straight.
That was almost initiated from the kicking situation where the Eagles played man-to-man, and when Essendon bunched at centre-half-back, O'Donnell played on, and good mark by Blumfield, then Hurd, and then on to Cummings. And really a good goal to Essendon. I mean, only that 6 or 7 points down when most of the game has been the Eagles' way.
So an interesting start to a big game here at Subiaco between the Eagles and the Bombers. Bounce of the ball again. Donnelly tries to get it down. Not able to break clear was Cousins. Now it's forced forward for Essendon towards centre half forward. James Hurd, attack on the football, didn't quite succeed in taking it with him. O'Donnell's tap on was good. Ola Renshaw, great to see him back playing senior football. James Hurd's kick, hooks it in towards centre half forward. High flying attempt there was by Morrison. It's been paid by the look of it. Morrison for the Eagles gets the hand pass wider still, out for Gehrig, on to David Hart. Hart from half-back, the kick slews off the side. Oh, great effort by Banfield, not able to gather. Tremendous courage shown by Banfield. Kemp tries to slip the hand pass, unsuccessful. Chris Danaher in there for Essendon. Still the umpire allows play to go on. Wanganeen it is, it throws his right boot at it, up towards half-forward. Great diving performance there by McKenna. He's a tidy player, Guy McKenna, and he's been awarded the mark at half-back for the Eagles.
Now he goes wide and he's got Donnelly alone. Finding some space, Andrew Donnelly. Creating some confusion, one suspects, after he takes the centre bounce. Drives it long looking for Sumich. Good punch away from the Bombers. Here comes Wanganeen. Hasn't seen the footy today. Steadies himself. Always got plenty of time, the Brownlow medalist. And a pretty good kick to Scott Lucas. On he goes to Cockatoo-Collins once again. Hurd out in front. Just playing the position pretty well out in front, James Hurd. Over to Mercuri. Scott Cummings once again out in front. It's an interesting place to play full forward from, Lee, but successful today.
Yes, well, I mean, Essendon always do something that you're not expecting, and yes, they start him in the forward pocket with no one on the front of the goal square, but he's playing full forward position. It's only a question of, I suppose, where exactly is your starting point at the centre bounces.
So we know Scott Cummings is a fine kick. Accuracy will only be the problem here. Kick this from about 47 metres out. Slight tailwind. Looks good off the boot. He has got his second goal in the opening quarter.
And again, a couple of those Essendon goals have been really set up by the key mark by James Hird in the centre square. Again, we see it over to Hird. He was out in front, but he still had to mark it under pressure, and he succeeded in doing that. Flicked the ball on, and then really a good pass by Mercuri to the leading Cummings. But Hird had to take that mark, and he did.
(3-1) to 3 goals, a point the difference. Chance for Essendon again. Hardwick slaps it onto his left foot. Bounces awkwardly at centre half forward for Essendon. Hand pass. Came out from McKenna. Hart's in a bit of strife here. Ball spills for Cockatoo-Collins. Advantages with Essendon. Hird's kick across his left shoulder. Sets it up for Bewick. It bounces away from Darren Bewick. He's able to gather close to the line. He's kicked towards full forward. Taken by Blumfield. He snapped with the left foot. What's it done? And Bob, your goal. Great play by Justin Blumfield. His awareness in that situation was quite spectacular, and he gets Essendon's 4th goal on the scoreboard. The Bombers lead by 5 points.
Well, hasn't it been a game of 2 patches, and in this early part, the Eagles in that early bit of the game got the 3 goals and just looked like they had everything going for them. But Essendon's been a fantastic fighting last 5 minutes to get those 4 goals to regain the lead, and it's really pretty enthralling game at the moment. Very quick football up and down the ground.
Yes, James Hird and Shea Cockatoo-Collins and everything now for the Bombers. Lucas gets a nice tap out. Matera coming off the wing. Doolan off the ground, replaced by Rick Olorenshaw. Great kick to Tony Evans, sets him up. Looking for Mitchell White, who is giving Fletcher a little bit of a run around at the present time. Chip kick in from White. Evans has run onto it. Through comes Barry Young. Kept in play by Lovell. The miraculous snap, no, doesn't go through. Picked up by Harvey. Nice driving, clearing kick. Into the shadows goes Barnard. Couldn't quite control it. The ball goes over the line and out of bounds. And a good bit of work down by Bewick deep in defence. Down on the boundary line, we've got Dwayne Lamb.
Jarrad, yes, Schofield just about to come back on. He's split behind the ear and he's got a stitch put into it. He's ready to go now.
Is that Dwayne?
Well, he was doing pretty well around the middle of the field, Jarrad Schofield. And since he came off the ground, it's Essendon that have taken all before them to kick the last 4 goals of the game. They lead by 5 points. They're 4 goals straight. West Coast are 3-1. Harvey has the ball at centre half back. He switches play to the far side of the ground. This is Bewick. Growing in stature with every game he plays is Peter Bewick. The kick into the middle of the ground. Taken by Chris Danaher, an important player in the makeup of the Bombers. Kemp cops the rebound. Short kick by Gehrig has been marked down there by Peter Sumich. And you would have to give him a chance to kick a goal. Evans to take his place back on the interchange bench. Schofield to come back on. Sumich goes in short. Nearly the gather by Donnelly. Across his left shoulder, it's a good long kick. The hook kick towards full forward. Bounces at the feet of Lovell. Knocked away there by Barry Young for a boundary throw in. Left forward pocket for West Coast. Only a metre or so around from the West Coast goal. West Coast pretty long odds on, 9-4 on. Essendon 6-4. Good odds the Bombers, seeing that they've won their last 3 matches against West Coast. Chance for Mitchell White, but he's beaten for it by Wanganeen. Nearly lost his shorts there, Gavin Wanganeen. The kick is wide, and it is out of bounds on the full, coming from Peter Bewick. The free kick will be taken by Peter Matera. Matera kicked a beautiful goal earlier in this quarter. Goes short, finds Mitchell White. So just a little bit of breeze blowing to the end, to which Essendon are kicking in this first quarter. Not all that significant, you wouldn't think. The Eagles coming to this end, getting good distance with their kicks. Have a look at this one by Mitchell White. No drama with the distance from 50 metres. He kicks her behind.
The Bombers with a lead of 4 points after trailing by 3 goals to 1 early in this opening term. Darren Bewick moves it away quickly. They're getting it away from fullback pretty nicely, the Bombers. And James Hird, who was probably the key to this game, just rolls it over the boundary line.
It's interesting, at the moment the Eagles are defending the Essendon kicking by playing man-to-man, and at the moment it's sort of easy to get the ball away. It'll be pretty soon, one would think, they'll go to some kind of zoning system.
Hurd in the front, takes the ball, quick handball off it to Bewick. Bewick drives towards centre half forward. Heady drops back, takes a fine mark. And he really is a key to the West Coast Eagles premiership chances, one would think. Once again, it's Donnelly finding plenty of space. He's up against Scott Lucas at the present time, who's in the ruck. Mitchell White out in front. They're doing it well, the Eagles. Good defensive work there by Dustin Fletcher. However, he's given away a free kick for over the top.
He was lucky, I reckon he was out of bounds when Dustin Fletcher grabbed him.
Brett Heady started on the half-back flank, obviously being eased back into senior football.
So Mitchell White just looking for an option to present itself. Finally, he kicks it down towards Waterman. Couldn't take the mark. Pretty hot handball back to Harvey from Wanganeen. Gets another opportunity. Ducks back.
Brilliantly played, Wanganeen.
Cool in the crisis, isn't he? Now he's looking for someone to kick it to. Finally, Mercuri makes some yards to give him an option. Mercuri corralled and given away. A free kick was Daniel Metropolis. Mark Mercuri, who played it pretty well, comes up with a free kick.
Not such a bad free kick either. The short kick has been marked by Ola Renshaw. He's still behind the wing as Ricky Ola Renshaw gets back quickly and kicks down towards right half forward. Knocked away from Alessio by Downsborough, but Alessio's able to recover. Well done, Bewick to O'Donnell. That was all clear, and the kick to half forward has been marked by Hurd. James Hurd, brilliant player. Kicks quickly towards full forward. Cummings, the ball spills to the back. McIntosh recovers quickly, but Cockatoo-Collins chops it off. Little left foot kick is quite brilliant. Vision exceptional. Blumfield gets it to Cummings. Cummings in towards full forward. Lucas, snapshot across the face. Registers a score, but just a behind. Kick by Scott Lucas.
Just couldn't quite have the vision, Lucas, to see that Danaher was alone in the goal square. It would have been a simple hand pass, but you've got to see the player to know that he's there.
It's almost a cross by a goal striker, but Danaher couldn't get the boot on it. You saw Kevin Sheedy in the coach's box. As McIntosh finally gets his kick away, and it's a good one, finds David Hart. All-Australian back pocket. Of his career, but doing it pretty well at the present time. Ola Renshaw versus Matera. Through comes Banfield. Brilliant play by the Eagles, finds White. They're bringing the ball down the centre corridor very nicely, looking for Sumic. Great mark. There's been quite a remarkable turnaround for Peter Sumic. Couldn't find a friend in Western Australia 3 years ago. Now he is the #1 man.
Really, Mitchell White, centre half forward, very mobile player, and with all the space on the big Subiaco ground, is getting off Dustin Fletcher a bit at the moment, and he was the player who set up the accurate pass for the Subic mark.
So from 45 metres out, Sumic shoots for his 3rd goal in this opening term here. The Eagles trailing by 5 points. He's pulled it slightly. It's gone over the line for one behind.
Two goals to Peter Sumic, 2 goals to Scott Cummings. So both key forwards having some sort of say in the situation in this match already. Kicked in by O'Donnell again. Barnard does well from behind Morrison. Gets the hand pass quickly to Blumfield. Blumfield in towards the middle of the ground. Nearly gathered by Gehrig, having a terrific battle with James Hurd. Great shepherd affected by Matera, but that hand pass nearly went back to James Hurd. Downsborough gets it to McKenna. McKenna goes wide, close to the line. No one there really, so you would suggest that Guy McKenna, the percentage play there for the West Coast, he finds the safety of the line about 85 to 90 metres around from the Eagles' goal, left half forward. Essendon lead by 4 points, they're 4-1. West Coast a 3-3. Ruck contest. O'Donnell doing the ruck work up against Donnelly. The kick rebounds for Chris Danaher, not able to get past. Brilliant gang tackling. Schofield, handball, not far enough, but Kemp made it look better than it was. Then that little hand pass for Metropolis. Metropolis goes for goal. Good kick, goal to the West Coast. Oh, brilliant hands by 2 or 3 West Coast players at centre half forward. Set it up. Metropolis' kick was a good one.
And eventually I think it was Dean Kemp that extricated the ball from this pack situation, and he's been picked up by Danaher at the moment. But Metropolis really a beautifully long balanced kick from the 50-metre mark.
The Eagles supporters have found some voice as the hometown has taken the lead by 2 points. Donnelly and Lucas once again in the middle. O'Donnell caught. Kemp once again gets the ball out. Tripped over perhaps hard. Forced forward by Olorenshaw over to Mercuri. Alessio getting into the game. Kicks it forward looking for Cummings. Couldn't take the mark. At the back was McKenna. He mops up. Gets it to Gehrig. Gehrig with pace drives long with the left foot. Sitting at the back was Waterman, but backing back into the pack was Scott Lucas, who takes a very good mark.
Off to Bewick. Bewick to Harvey. Harvey, who usually sets something up for the Bombers. His kick, judging it just a little bit better. The advantage there by the kick in the finish was McIntosh. Gets it away to Heady. Heady finds Banfield. Banfield's got a player loose on centre wing. It's Donnelly. Just misjudged it there, then nearly gave the free kick away, but got into the action again on Cockatoo-Collins. And fortunately for the Eagles there, was able to recover and hold it up.
Cockatoo-Collins
nearly away with the ball and probably could have got a free kick. 2 minutes left in the first quarter. O'Donnell doing the ruck work again. Banfield to Heady. Heady's kick nearly marked down there by Morrison. Just slips away from his grasp. Some of the Bomber fans here in Perth watching the game. Boundary throw in. 2 minutes left in the first term. West Coast by 2 points.
We've had a fine opening term, both sides kicking 4 goals. I think everybody here, Lee, is expecting a crackerjack game.
Well, it certainly started that way. It's amazing in different parts of Australia. Very hard, fast surface over here, and the speed of the game, much more than in the softer green conditions we saw in Melbourne yesterday.
Yeah, probably the best service in the AFL at the present time as Donnelly thumps the ball forward by 35 metres. Waterman couldn't get to it. So just a little bit of time now where there's been no action as Dean Wallace just sits back and cools himself on the boundary line.
Sheedy down on the boundary line as well, Jarrad, close to quarter time.
Well, a big push out from Dean Kemp. It was a relayed one through Chris Danaher onto O'Donnell. It was like a pinball as Kevin Sheedy barks the instructions. Nice kick into Barnard. Time for another goal for the Bombers. Long kick. Punched away by McIntosh. Through comes Heady once again, getting in plenty of the action early. Thrown away by Cockatoo-Collins, having a good game for the Bombers. And away they go through Morrison.
Morrison's kick is not too bad under the circumstances. Close to the line, it bounces over before Damien Hardwick can do much with it. And it'll be thrown in right on centre wing. Barking instructions. Mick Malthouse and Trevor Nesbitt from the boundary line for the West Coast. Great rivalry between these two clubs, set up by two champion back pocket players with Richmond in the 60s and 70s and probably even into the 80s. Mick Malthouse and Kevin Sheedy coaching the respective teams here today. Lovell's short kick is all right. It's been marked by Mitchell White. Minute left in the quarter. Mitchell White may score from here. Rain falling now at Subiaco. It was a beautiful day. At about midday, showers were predicted and they've finally arrived. Under a minute now as Mitchell White prepares to shoot for goal from 50 metres. Could nearly get the distance. Throws it up in the air. Across the face of the square. It's going to be a mark taken by Sumich, and it's been given the all clear from behind Bewick. So Sumich will have the last kick of the quarter, you would think. Not very far out, only 6 or 7 metres from goal, but the angle will be a tight one.
Kevin Sheedy must be thinking seriously of swapping Bewick and Fletcher. I think Sumich looks a bit strong for Bewick and who is it? White too mobile.
Going for the screw punt, kick hits the post.
Well, you've seen that before, Lou.
Sumich
hitting
check
the post
side.
with the check side.
Yes.
Played as big a part in the ending of the Collie Wobbles as any other kick in football.
Didn't hit the post though, Jarrad. It didn't hit the post. Right. It just went through from behind. And the Eagles now trying to form a bit of a zone to defend this kick in, but half are zoning and half are still man-to-man. It's hard to swap a strategy in the middle of a quarter in this regard.
Well, just 6 seconds left to play. I'm sure the players would like a time clock. There's Damien Hardwick. We'll just see the siren sound. Ran out time nicely, the Bombers. As Kevin Sheedy charges onto the field, he'd be pretty pleased to be back in a competitive situation after the Eagles burst out of the blocks, kicked a couple of goals without the Bombers looking like it. So at quarter time, the West Coast 4-4 have a 3-point lead over Essendon 4-1.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was just having a look at Kevin Sheedy who's walking out to address the Essendon players there, and really it was a terrific second half of the quarter for Essendon. I mean, that first 5 minutes when the Eagles kicked 3 goals and the crowd was really involved and the emotion was up and running, I mean, that really didn't look good for Essendon, but they really fought their way back to make it a fairly even game at this quarter time break. But again, I wouldn't be surprised. Mitchell White, again, his mobility at centre half forward's been good. I think Subiaco has been pretty strong at full forward, so the Essendon key defenders may have to be adjusted.
So at quarter time, the West Coast have a 3-point lead over the Essendon Bombers.
And some interesting setups at the ruck encounter. Lucas has done well there. Barnard robbed of it there by Schofield. Knocked away there by Hardwick. The ball very, very keenly contested. This is Hardwick off his left foot in towards centre foot. Well picked up at ankle level there by Alessio. Handball away to Bewick. One bounce. May set himself up. Little left foot kick to centre foot. Dump. Got it back again, then kick with the right foot in towards full forward, nearly gathered by Hurd. Knocked away by Olorenshaw. Chance for Plumfield, then Olorenshaw once again goes after it. Can't control the footy. Opportunity for Mercuri. Was that a throw? Lucas is there. And the umpire quickly on the scene may have deemed that as being a throw against Mark Mercuri, and the free kick. Away go the Eagles. Gehrig in the exchange of hand passes. Heady in turn to Kemp. Household names with the West Coast Eagles now, Brett Heady and Dean Kemp. The kick in the Cousins direction, but Wanganeena's there. In goes Banfield, can't control it. Boundary throw in between wing and left half forward, slightly favouring the West Coast.
These boundary throw-ins are interesting because Lucas and Donnelly are the two ruckmen, but they're really just going nowhere near these boundary throw-ins. So it's really just the two tallest players will compete. In this case, who will it be? Fletcher and White.
Almost a free kick given away to Fletcher there. O'Donnell dragged down. So Hayden Kennedy will elect to play a neutral ball here and throw it up on what is a perfect surface here at Subiaco. Fantastic opening term, both sides kicking 4 goals. Fletcher over the back, gets the ball going forward. Olorenshaw, O'Donnell knocks it forward now for the Bombers, but picked up by Waterman. Kicks it into the Eagles forward line. Good spoil over the back. Cousins, always smart with his hands, gets the ball onto David Hart from 50 metres out, kicks it long, Berbikoff getting back. It wasn't a great kick, that one, and it's trickled over the boundary line. That's right.
Young player Ben Cousins, but he's a fantastic ball handler and he's really impressive. Touches the ball immediately, he takes possession.
The West Coast with a slender lead, but they have the ball deep in their forward line. As Sumic and Berbikoff go for it. Once again Cousins, this time Wanganeen along the ground. Wasn't a great kick. Morrison, evades a couple, over to Lovell. Lovell kicks it to an open forward line. Only Bombers there now as Berbikoff comes charging through. Bruce McAvaney thinks he's got a good name for a horse. So the 2-miler charges it down and finds Scott Lucas.
I don't think he'd like being referred to as a 2-miler, Peter Berbikoff. Maybe a mile horse, but anyway, he's a great defender for Essendon. Under pressure back there at half-back for the West Coast was Heady. Then Gehrig in towards the centre. Metropolis gets it to Schofield. Schofield running fairly direct. Kicks in towards half-forward. Barry Young just gets his hand onto the football. Sumic dragged to the ground. There's a free kick? No. The hand pass out for Banfield. Banfield's kick only as far as Harvey. Very important possession for Mark Harvey across half-back. He kicks it wide. This is Olorenshaw, 50 metres from the defended goal. Olorenshaw runs closer to the wing, gets onto his favoured left foot, kicks it high. Marking contest. Alessio, well done. Good mark taken by Stephen Alessio on centre wing for the Bombers. He can get it onto Mercuri. Mercuri runs up to half forward. Well done, Kemp. Just held him up, forced him to kick towards the contest. Hurd gathers. Hurd's kick across his left shoulder is wide, very wide, missed everything. Free kick back there to be taken for the West Coast by Fraser Gehrig. Gehrig for the West Coast. They lead by 3 points. The score has not changed from quarter time. 4-4 to 4-1. 2 goals each to Sumic and Cummings. Both leading for their respective teams at this stage. This is Gehrig. No one really to kick to, so he's going to have to bomb away. Gets good distance with the kick.
But he's kicked it in the vicinity of Alessio. Couldn't take it, but Mercuri roved it well. Quick hands now on to Danaher. He's got a bout of the fumbles. His handball goes only as far as Downsborough, drives the Eagles into attack. At the back of the pack was Lovell. Couldn't quite take it. Through comes Wanganeen. Quick hands off the ground. Was good to Young. Young finds Olorenshaw. Game going up a notch in intensity. Kick goes up in the air. O'Donnell was infringed upon by Schofield. No free kick, says the umpire. And they're letting it go a bit, Lee, the umpire.
Well, they are, yeah, but as long as it's consistent, I think players can adjust. They're certainly making everyone earn their free kicks.
Aidan Kennedy with the ball inside the centre square. Lucas versus Donnelly.
Doing well, Lucas.
Quick kick off the ground. This time it's Danaher. Needs to pick it up cleanly. In pursuit was Matera. Dumps Danaher to the ground. Alessio bundled out of it. So too was Cockatoo-Collins. Perhaps another infringement. The ball once again shaken over the boundary line by Mercuri. And in hot pursuit was Matera.
Well, we're nearly 10 minutes into the second quarter and the umpires have only awarded 7 free kicks, 5 to the West Coast and 2 to Essendon. Now you speak about them allowing play to go on. This is Hart, tries to hack it out of there. Bewick quick to recover, but his kick slews off the side and it favours Morrison, who was marked from behind Barnard. Morrison, one of the exciting young Eagles, younger players. His kick goes across the half-forward line. Nearly gathered by Waterman, it is. He had a second chance at it. Shepherd affected by Donnelly on Lucas. Waterman runs up to 50 metres, can ping away from that line and kicks it to the square. The mark has been taken by Sumic. Good clean mark in the goal square to Peter Sumic from behind Damien Hardwick and Peter Berbikoff, and he'll line up for his 3rd goal.
Well, I must say Peter Sumic today has been the best I've seen him for a couple of years. I think this would be enormously encouraging for the Eagles. He's marked strongly on those 3 or 4 occasions. Maybe his league career is still there.
Well, the Eagles fans think so as he punts for goal and puts it through. 3 goals, 2 to Peter Sumic. Eagles lead by 9 points. They're 5-4 to 4-1.
And importantly, he's marked strongly. That was his 5th mark, and I think Peter Sumic recently, when he has played senior football, he just doesn't look like he's been able to mark the ball in a contest, but he's certainly done that to this point of the game today, and that's something that will be enormously encouraging for Nick Malthouse and the Eagles.
So the West Coast Eagles leading by 9 points. Peter Sumic with 3 goals to his name. Perhaps we're seeing a new player reborn after the birth of his baby girl a couple of weeks ago. Quick kick out of the middle was from Schofield, but it was intercepted by Gavin Wanganeen. He crosses the ground, finds Mark Harvey. Harvey sets himself, ignores Olorenshaw, looking for the bigger players, going down to Barnard. Hurd once again, roving beautifully up the ground is James Hurd, looking for plenty of kicks, and this one's a fine one, looking for Mercuri. A pretty good effort in a one-on-one contest by Daniel Metropolis.
Decision to be made. Hurd went into the centre bounce then, and O'Donnell dropped a half forward, and Gehrig stayed back with O'Donnell. We'll just see how long that matchup remains. Schofield at the moment directly opposed to Hurd.
It's a bad sign for Ruckman, Lee.
Yes.
Alessio taps it forward to O'Donnell. Off the ground was Blumfield. Just left of the big post for a minor score.
Yes, I can't say I've ever can recall 2 such mobile non-ruckman types in Donnelly and Lucas actually filling the ruck positions.
Now it's Metropolis. Drives the Eagles out of defence. Through comes Lovell, getting his hands on the football. Donnelly running clear again. It's a good handball. Sits nicely for Donnelly. Donnelly drives the ball in, finds White. The forward line of the Eagles is really causing some problems. Over the back was Olorenshaw. Couldn't quite take it. Got the sit on Morrison. quick hands, finds Young, back to Olorenshaw. In comes Cousins, he's dangerous. He'll finish up with a football, looking for Sumic now. Kick smothered and out of bounds. Right on the forward 50 for the West Coast Eagles.
Well done again by Peter Bewick there, defending grandly for Essendon. 50 metres from the West Coast goal. The Eagles lead 34-26. 13 minutes left in the second term. Mitchell White doing the ruck work up against Berbikoff. The ball spills for Wanganeen. Gets the hand pass away. This is Barnard in towards Hardwick at centre half back. Hardwick's left foot kick. Bit of an up and under towards the wing. Contest. Players can't really clear the football away from there, so the umpire will bounce. Umpires Mark Nash, Greg Scroop and Hayden Kennedy. And we've already spoken about Mark McKenzie, who was listed to do this match, replaced at the last minute by Hayden Kennedy. 3 goals to Peter Sumic for the West Coast, 2 goals to Scott Cummings for Essendon. The ball in the middle of the ground. Gee, some desperate stuff shown there by Berbikoff again, was it? Olorenshaw it was. He's going to get the football. His rewards were there. O'Donnell's kick will land close to half forward. Gathered by Blumfield. Must have thought he had an eternity. Quickly taken away by the Eagles. Gee, there were 4 into that pretty quickly. Matera, Heady, McKenna and Morrison. The kick goes to half forward to be safely marked by Wanganeen.
Well, he had to take it too because the Eagles were away if he didn't. Over to Young, back to Wanganeen. Wanganeen looking for Fletcher. Looks like that change may have been made, Lee.
Yes, about 5 minutes ago, I think Fletcher went back on the Sumic and Berbikoff out onto White.
Fletcher looking for his skipper and O'Donnell, but it's intercepted once again by McKenna. White on his left foot. Looking for Cousins in front. He's been infringed. No free kick once again. Off the ground was Lovell. Back goes Sumic. Wanganeen chips the kick. Looking for Harvey. And Harvey with plenty of time, it seems, spears a kick into Chris Danaher.
13 possessions to Wanganeen across the full back line. Kick by Chris Danaher. Sits up. Good contest between Cockatoo-Collins and Matera. And on this occasion, Peter Matera a bit upset. Bit of a line ball. Cockatoo-Collins, the man in front. He kicks it quickly to Bewick. Bewick is still on the wing. Long way from Essendon's goal. Essendon have only kicked a point in this second term so far. The West Coast 1 goal. Kicked by Peter Sumic. Bewick's kick will land close to the 50-metre line. McIntosh, good mark from behind Cummings. Clean mark to Ashley McIntosh. Get out of the way, James Hurd, says the umpire. McIntosh gets back and then kicks high and long. Will land close to the wing. Mark Pate to Chris Danaher. Eagles fans not happy. They've had the worst of 2 marking decisions in pretty much the same area. Hand pass to Hardwick. Hardwick's kick will land close to centre half forward. Punch back towards the middle of the ground. Taken by O'Donnell. Kicks quickly, directly towards goal. Marking contest. The ball spills to the back. Gehrig does well. Knocks it into the path of Heady. Heady with a little bit of time to steady. Kicks out close to the wing and puts it on the chest there of Mitchell White.
Good composure there by the Eagles defenders. It's a good game. As the kick goes towards Lovell. In hot pursuit was Barry Young. Once again, another throw in on centre wing.
I think Fraser Gehrig has got the speed and the height to go with James Hurd. It remains to be seen whether he has the stamina.
Big push out in the back there by Berbikoff, and the umpire, with the applause of the crowd here, finally gives the West Coast Eagles a free kick.
Still only 8 free kicks, 5-3 in favour of the Eagles.
So they're having to work pretty hard for free kicks, the players. As Daniel Metropolis puts his foot into this one. Sumic once again, couldn't take the mark. Pressure's pretty good on there on Bewick. Bewick bowled over, could have once again got a free kick, as could have Hardwick. Advantage played as the ball comes over to Hardwick. He's kicked it into space. Matera leads Olorenshaw for the ball. Nobody's going to drag down Matera. Oh, his kicking was slightly astray there. He had a bit of time with Blumfield in to shoot. Kicked it out of bounds on the foot.
Could have nearly ducked back onto his right foot. Still, that's pretty easy from here, isn't it? Olorенshaw's kick. Knocked away, gathered by Schofield. Gee, his option to duck back towards the middle of the ground was a good one. He kicks in towards centre foot. Great leap there by Berbikoff. Couldn't take the mark. Gatherers by Morrison. Just gets his left foot to it. Should nearly be gathered by Hardwick. He does well and has a second go at it. Well done, Damien Hardwick. But the kick has been marked by Brett Heady. looks to play on and does so. Gehrig from left half-back kicks it down the line and finds Lovell. Andy Lovell between wing and left half forward can go to a player unmarked at 50 metres. It's Donnelly. And the Bombers not quick enough to regroup there. Left Donnelly on his own, 50 metres from goal. Could nearly get the distance and the accuracy. Lovely kick by Donnelly. It's been marked anyway by Subiaco again. He is proving a handful for Essendon. He's Peter Subiaco.
I think it is also highlighted this game one of Essendon's great susceptibilities there. A strong marking key forwards do trouble their defence.
Subiaco from the goal square, 1 metre out, kicks a goal. 4 goals, 2 to Peter Subiaco. Very much a key player so far. 6-4 Eagles, 4-2 Essendon.
Yes, and again Donnelly slipping forward from that ruck position. It'll be really a question of whether Scott Lucas, as a young, inexperienced player, can be able to know and get the positioning right. Just maybe Stephen Alessio is about to have a run in the ruck position.
Ball back in the centre shortly. The ball just taking a bit of time to get back into the centre.
One of the umpires, Greg Scroop, had a really good long chat to Peter Subiaco. Then Jarrad, as the boundary umpires, brought the ball back to the centre.
Might have been just saying what a great game he's playing, Robbo. It's a change is being effected. Dean Wallace coming onto the ground, and it looks like Bewick having a rest. The player gets underway.
Wallace straight down to Subiaco, one would suspect. Running in that direction. So Dean Wallace off the bench to man up on Peter Subiaco. We'll wait and see what happens to Dustin Fletcher. Fletcher now to come maybe down onto the forward line because McIntosh is there on his own at this stage.
Maybe Scott Cummings, he's either filling in that key defensive position or he's been shifted up there.
Chance for the Eagles. White down to Downsborough. Downsborough in the Subiaco direction. Chipping in was Young, couldn't take the mark. Good contest. Subiaco again. Across his right shoulder, he's dogged it. 5 goals in the first half to Peter Subiaco. And if you want to know who the #1 Eagles player on Subiaco Oval today is, right now it's Peter Subiaco.
We may just be seeing the resurrection of a league career. I must admit I was one who thought Peter Subiaco's days as a good AFL player may have deserted him, but really been an exceptional first half, and certainly he's got his confidence going, and that's very important basis to build your game on.
Well, maybe it was Mackenzie Subiaco, born a couple of weeks ago, that has inspired this return to stardom by Peter Subiaco. 5 goals in the first half, a great performance, but this time it's Alessio. Quick kick out of the centre, but the Eagles are just growing in confidence as Gehrig takes a good mark. Quickly plays on. Over to what is going to be another Brownlow medal chance in white. Kicks it off the ground, gets it to Hart. Hart back into the centre of the ground. There's talent all over this ground here for the Eagles. Kemp on to Waterman, now in defence, over to Metropolis. They're running well, the Eagles. Good interception by Wanganeen. Over to Olorenshaw, playing it well. Pressure comes from Cousins. Wanganeen still a brilliant round the boundary line. But in came Peter Matera just to stop what was going to be a Keith Gregg-like escape off the line. Another throw-in.
7 minutes left. West Coast by 20 points, courtesy of a wonderful first half by their full forward Peter Subiaco, who's kicked 5 goals. The kick lands at half forward. Heady plays it well. Just kept his body between himself and the football, between his opponent and the football. Kicked away by McKenna and goes over for a boundary throw-in.
So it's obviously that Downsborough is going to play ruck against Alessio. It just might have been that because Alessio didn't start in the ruck, Donnelly just happened to be there for the Eagles rather than something of a pre-planned tactic. It just happened that way.
Smoking Joe Mercuri on the ground. Straight on to Brett Heady. Blumfield to have a spell on the bench. Up high was Alessio. Beautiful tap for Chris Danaher. Danaher's left foot kick lands in the middle of the ground. Gatherers by Banfield. Handball. A beautiful hand pass to the advantage of Lovell. Lovell goes across his left shoulder. Morrison in the van. Can he control the football? He's beaten for it by Hardwick. Another one of the young guns on this ground. He's kicking to the middle of the ground. It's taken by Barnard. Barnard's long kick will land in the square. Fletcher. Great mark. And missed. Well, it was a mark, wasn't it? Played on and missed from the goal square nearly. Much to the delight of the Eagles fans.
Well, I suppose it's hard to criticise him playing on because really he was a clear shot, whatever happened, just really a bad disposal error.
Waterman brings the ball back into play for the Eagles, finds Kemp 30 metres by himself. Downsborough's also got some space, he's got support running in Matera, but he ignores this and goes down to the half-forward line, where Donnelly taps the ball over the line.
Matera shaking his head, Jarrad, because he was making great position for Downsborough.
Well, the handball was certainly the option. But as you said, Robbo, it's pretty easy from up here. So we're 70 metres away from the Eagles' goal. They've kicked 3 goals in this term. Jarrad Schofield under pressure. Ball now with Matera. Kicks it blindly to the forward line. Morrison in front. Hardwick applies good pressure. This time coming through was Young. Young over the top has got Olorenshaw. The Bombers working a man free now. Drives it long looking for Fletcher. Love to make amends for that last shot at goal. Punched away nicely. Coming up with it now as Banfield gets it back to McKenna, real clear for the Eagles.
McKenna's kick along the line is well directed. Found Mitchell White. In turn went to Waterman. Pass was quite spectacular for Cousins. And White has just run beautifully after delivering the hand pass. He shoots for goal, but lets himself down a little by missing quite convincingly in the finish for the Eagles' 5th behind.
He certainly runs in that centre-half forward position, Mitchell White. He's never a stationary target. He's always running to space. And at the moment, Essendon are struggling to find a defender. Now Scott Cummings, but struggling to find a defender who can actually keep up with him.
O'Donnell with 5 minutes left. Short kick is okay. He finds Olorenshaw between left back pocket and left half back. His kick is all right as well. And the marker's taken down there by Cummings. Scott Cummings for the Bombers. He's their leading goal scorer at this stage with 2. The kick quite simply marked by Metropolis. Well, he made it look pretty easy. Nothing much is easy on a football ground. Kemp and then Heady into the pocket. The marker's taken by White. They look a little rattled, the Bombers. Very important 5 minutes left in this game, you would think. 7-5 to 4-3, 20-point margin. They wouldn't want it to break out to much more, the Bombers, if there to be a chance in this game, you would think. Beautiful day, magnificent crowd at Subiaco, and watching an entertaining game. Short kick has been marked by Kemp. Improves the angle, maybe not all that much closer.
The way Peter Sumich has gone in this quarter with 3 goals, you just kick it straight to him.
Well, Dean Kemp, he is a good kicker of the football. He kicks from 50 metres. He gets good distance, but it's just offline to the right and through for 1 behind.
And Mitchell White, centre-half forward, 16 possessions and a half of football at centre-half forward is a good numbers, almost Wayne Carey-like. One must say, playing a fairly different brand of football, but getting a lot of stats.
Not dissimilar to James Hird, the way he plays, though.
Similar to that, yeah.
Well, Gary O'Donnell looking for an option, finally gets one in Hardwick, but he's covered well and truly by Peter Sumich. Now he plays on. He's got Chris Danaher. Takes a pretty good mark under pressure from Kemp. Yeah, those figures there, Luke. Kemp and Danaher. Alessio.
7 and 6 to Kemp.
O'Donnell. Lucas down in the forward line now. Picks it up pretty well. Kicks it round the corner looking for Fletcher. He's out in front. Strong mark. Read it beautifully. Just a couple of yards in front of Ashley McIntosh.
A pretty well aligned ball. We see Lucas's kick to Fletcher, but the 2 players you mentioned, Kemp and Chris Danaher, 7 and 6 to Dean Kemp, 7 and 4 to Chris Danaher.
So a good tussle in the middle of the ground. There's Dustin Fletcher. Lines up for goal for 40 metres out. And this is a great kick. All clear.
Yes,
so the first goal to the Bombers in the second quarter, it's 5-3 to 7-6.
So they had to work hard for that goal, Essendon. Really, this quarter's gone very much the Eagles' way. They're having trouble penetrating that half-forward line. James Hird was all right in the first quarter, but at the moment, Gehrig has probably shut him down reasonably well so far this quarter, and it's really just a struggle to get the ball in.
So 3 minutes left in the term. A very important goal to Essendon. Kicked by Dustin Fletcher. Banfield's kick smothered very, very well by O'Donnell. The ball at centre half forward. O'Donnell follows it up. Kicks it out of the air, but it's a free kick. A holding decision. May have gone against Stephen Alessio at centre half back. It's Scott Lucas actually, and the free kick is to be taken by Waterman. Done pretty well, Scott Lucas, in the ruck contests around the middle of the ground. He's been asked to do that against Donnelly. The kick by Waterman goes across the ground, and the mark is taken out there by Hart. 2.5 minutes left in the first half. It's been a very, very entertaining game so far. David Hart's kick will land close to half forward, but it's been marked by Harvey for Essendon, looking for a 50-metre penalty. Umpire Scroop having nothing to do with that. Harvey's kick goes in towards the centre. It's knocked away by the Eagles' defensive Gehrig. Nearly gathered there by Schofield. Opportunity for Downsborough off the ground. Oh, well done by Donnelly. Made it for himself. Left foot kick by that player towards full forward. At the back there of Lovell. A contest. Morrison. He's dispossessed down there by Lucas. Now a chance is for Schofield. Handball, wider for Sumic. Can he gather? Gets the hand pass back in the direction of Matera. Matera, short kick. No, not good enough. Wangani, away to Ola Renshaw. To the advantage out here of Mercuri. His kick has been smothered there by Metropolis and forced over for a boundary throw-in on the full, was it? So the free kick to Mark Mercuri.
Chips it in short for James Hird. A little bit quieter in this term after a dominating first quarter. Gehrig has tightened up on him, as Lee said. Looking for Alessio, too strong. And the Bombers now with a chance to kick another late goal in this second term.
Well, it's a good sign for Essendon, the fact that Fletcher took that mark and goal before, and now Alessio's marked in the forward 50, really up to this point of the game. Had a little bit of a problem for getting on the end of that long high kick going forward.
Well, he's just struggled to get into the game, Steve Alessio, with just 2 kicks and 3 handballs, but an important one from 45 metres, but he's pulled it. Another minor score to the Bombers. They'll move on now to 5-4-34. 14 points in arrears of the West Coast Eagles, 7-6-48. Just 39 seconds left to play in this second term as Chris Waterman drives the ball out, looking for, but not finding David Hart. Good spoil. The ball trickles over the boundary line. Spoil coming from James Hird, I think it was. Scott Lucas flashed up there, so I'll take that as said by the cameraman. As we see another boundary throw in. 50 metres out from the Bombers' goal. Lucas at the back, gets the ball going the Bombers' way. Over the top went Waterman. McKenna with quick hands, and again from Kemp onto Banfield, onto Hart. Maybe a chance for the Eagles now. They'll need a mark. Donnelly underneath, big punch away, over to White's. Had a great first half. Jarrad, Schofield, 14 seconds left on the clock. Schofield from 40 metres. Great goal, the Eagles. Lead that one would have heard going into half-time.
It wasn't just a fantastic transference out of defence, really. Once the ball went to centre half forward, again, Mitchell White, I think it was, and Schofield, a beautifully balanced kick on the run, but it was the transfer out of the defensive 50 by the Eagles. Clean ball handling under pressure, gave it to the player running forward, and a great attacking goal.
Well, a shot missed at one end by the Bombers. And then a great goal to the Eagles after a succession of handballs, finished with Jarrad Schofield. And he is deadly accurate in front of goal. So with 6 seconds to play, we'll go one more time. Alessio. Kemp couldn't take it. Ola Renshaw up in the air as a siren goes to finish what's been a great term for the West Coast Eagles. And Peter Sumic in particular with 5 first half goals. It's 8-6-54 to 5-4-34.
Well, yes, and I think you mentioned Peter Sumic, and I think the important thing was he kicked 5 goals a few weeks ago when I saw him play, but I thought they were lucky 5. I thought today he's just earned every one of them by just really strong marking overhead, and you can kick him from hand passes over the top or lucky free kicks, but he's absolutely earned every one of them, and really it's been a fantastic game, I believe. I mean, just the skills, the kicking and the ball handling under pressure, it's just been such a quick, fantastic exhibition of Australian rules football, I would have thought.
Well, it was 4 goals 2 to the Eagles to 1 goal 3 in that term, which just about sums it up, Robbo.
Yes, it was a good quarter by both sides, but the Eagles have got the advantage at half-time. They lead by 20 points. They're 8-6-54. Essendon are 5-4-34. So the start of the second half here at Subiaco, the West Coast have the advantage. They're 20 points in front of Essendon. So the Bombers probably need to get at least the first goal of this third quarter, perhaps the first 2 goals. No mark at half forward, taken by White, gets the hand pass back in the direction of Kemp. Kemp gets it to White again, 2 possessions already at the start of the third term for Mitchell White. Off to Morrison. Morrison's left foot kick will land close to the square. Matera knocked away there by Mercuri, gathered by Sumic. This will be just quite miraculous if he can dob it from there. He's missed everything. Out of bounds on the full free kick to be taken in the right back pocket for Essendon by Dean Wallace.
I think a miracle would have been the understatement. Robbo facing the boundary line of his left foot over his right shoulder. A lot of things would have had to go on right for that to go through for a goal.
I think there would have been the odd supporter at the ground here getting a little excited as Wallace kicks it away from full back for Essendon, and a good mark is taken out there by Stephen Alessio.
Just starting to have an impact, Stephen Alessio, in that last 10 minutes of the second quarter. He gets a handball onto Hardwick. Hardwick going forward now. Danaher couldn't take it. Well done by Hetty. He's tackled without the football. Metropolis comes in, smothers the ball, and a boundary and a ball up will take place. 75 metres out from the Bombers' goal. With the Bombers desperate to get that first couple in this third term. Alessio too tall now. Flicks the ball, looking for Mercuri. Off the ground with Schofield. Quick hands from Mercuri. Nice kick from O'Donnell, looking for Fletcher and finds him. So the move by Fletcher, the full forward, starting to pay dividends. He kicked 1 in the second term, could have been 2.
He certainly played in front and win the ball. That's the way to take the first step, is something a forward should be able to do, because obviously his team makes the kicking the ball forward, and Fletcher certainly did that.
So for the first goal in the second half, Dustin Fletcher runs in, kicks it pretty accurately, but hit the woodwork. So things just not running right for Dustin Fletcher at the present time. It's amazing if you keep on pushing how the wheel will turn.
1 goal 2 for Dustin Fletcher. Leading goal kicker for Essendon is Scott Cummings, who kicked 2 in the first quarter. Kick in is very wide and ugly. Very ugly by Guy McKenna standards. Out of bounds, so the free kick for Essendon, taken by Fletcher, gets it into Olorenshaw. He's still 50 metres from goal, Ricky Olorenshaw. Just a little hesitant as to whether to just bomb away to the square. Kicks to the front of the goals. Marking contest. Oh, it's an Essendon mark. Terrific mark taken by Chris Danaher. Gee, that was a good grab.
Yes, it was, and he's just been a very good player, hasn't he, for Essendon. Danaher gradually almost got better as his career's gone on. Had the big job on Kemp today, but to jump up and take this mark.
And he capitalises by kicking an Essendon goal. So very importantly for the Bombers, they do get the first goal of the second half and bring the margin back to 13 points. 8-6 the Eagles, 6-5 Essendon.
Yeah, the high psychology is important to get the first goal, particularly if you're the team that's behind on the scoreboard, and as Essendon are, and the ability to get the first 6 points reduces the margin and just really lifts the whole team at the start of the second half.
Yes, he's been a great player for Essendon, Chris Danaher, and now it puts some pressure back on Dean Kemp, who comes out of the middle with the ball. He's putting the answer to Chris Danaher, left foot, looking for White. Once again, Mitchell White, he just has the knack of running into space and coming up with the football. Got great skills and has found Jarrad Schofield. As we mentioned earlier, he's deadly accurate in front of goal, and from 45 metres, this should be well within his means.
8 marks, 14 kicks and 6 handballs to Mitchell White.
The nose clips have been popularised over the last 6 or so months. We saw them frequently used at the Olympics. Just clearing the nasal passages, breathing in the oxygen, and let's see if he can use that oxygen to effect. Comes in from 50. It's a long kick, just touched on the line by Dean Wallace. We picked up Peter Sumic in the last 5 minutes of the second quarter, and I think that may well have been his first touch for the afternoon. It's 8-7 to 6-5.
So margin 14 points in favour of the West Coast Eagles. The margin at quarter time was 3 points in favour of the Eagles, and it was 20 points at quarter time. O'Donnell kicks it to himself and then gets very good distance, well past the 50-metre defensive line. Olorentiu's taken the mark, gets it to Bewick. Bewick's little left foot kick is a bit of a tumbler. Not all that good for your forwards when it comes in like that. Simply mopped up by Chris Waterman. Safe mark on his chest.
He's had a good game, Olorentiu, with 14 possessions on Matera, now only 8.
Well done, Bewick. If it's not a mark, it's certainly a free kick. Lovell just a little late. Bewick, he has got a crook shoulder. He gets up a little gingerly.
As they say, the shoulder joint jumps out a little bit, I'm told. It looked like he felt that blow, didn't he?
Well, quickly on with it. He kicks it in towards centre-half forward. McIntosh at the back. Mercuri ready to swoop on it. Chance here for Mercedes. James Hird tries to get it in that player's direction, but not quite all that successful, and the umpire will bounce about 60 metres from the Essendon goal.
He's run as a genuine on ball today, Darren Bewick. Normally plays as a small forward, matched up by Daryl Hart. They've had a good duel.
So 15 minutes left in the third quarter. The tap down for Bewick. Bewick goes bang. Look at this kick. Right to the line. Cockatoo-Collins read it well, but the ball just bouncing away from that player and through for one behind to Essendon.
One suspects that the extra height of Alessio could be a telling factor in this game. There's now no Ryan Turnbull to throw at him. After it worked well for the Eagles in the first term, maybe it'll count against them as McIntosh gets the ball out of defence for the Eagles. This time it's Banfield looking to control it. It can't do that inside the boundary line.
Yeah, I have little doubt, Jarrad, that if Alessio had started in the ruck, Downsbury would have started with him. And I think Donnelly was only in the ruck, in fact, because Alessio wasn't there.
Alessio was such a big advantage over Downsbury that he's going to win just about every knock, as he does this time. Gets it to Hardwick. Always tacks to his defensive side. Ball is smothered. Through comes Waterman. He's got support Matera, but a good tackle by Olorentiu once again. O'Donnell will use his left foot to set up Lucas. The Bombers just looking a little bit better in this second term, but Lucas fumbles. Left foot to the goal square. It's a one-on-one battle. Fletcher and McIntosh. Cockatoo-Collins couldn't gather it. And a ricochet behind is the result.
This is no doubt the momentum of the game is with Essendon in this first part of the third quarter. Whenever the ball goes to space, it seems like there's 2 or 3 Essendon players there on the end of it.
Well, you mentioned that you thought that they'd broken even round the ground. It was really only the key forwards, in particular Sumic, that was the difference. So perhaps they're just starting to get on top again now, as Downsbury just can't make the extra metres to get that football. And it comes off hands. And Little Boy Blue will throw it in.
West Coast lead this game by 12 points. Very little in it. Important passage of play here. Kemp just scrounges it out to Schofield. Runs away from the half-back line. Hand pass to Heady. Heady's kick towards centre-half forward. Well done. Good mark again by Mitchell White. He's certainly been a problem for Essendon. He's kicked towards full forward. And it's a mark. Sumic. Say Sumic. And then I was going to say Sumic. And you get Sumic out of that.
Let's see if he can kick a goal, Robbo.
Great skill, isn't it? Just he knew where the flight of the ball, knew where the ball was coming, lent his hips into Dean Wallace and really just was able to protect the ball and then take that falling chest mark. It really was wonderful body use.
Well, he's kicked 5. 5 out of 8 when you only lead by 2 goals has to be pretty well classified as a match-leading performance at this stage. Maybe in the final analysis a match-winning performance. He's now kicked 6. 6 goals, 2 to Peter Sumic. Eagles lead by 3.
Yes, and again, that problem we spoke about up till half-time with Essendon. Mitchell White marking the ball at half-forward, and then Peter Sumic marking the ball closer to goal. Those 2 key forwards for the Eagles are the 2 players that the Bombers haven't been able to shut down.
Great goal to Peter Sumic and Mitchell White. Ball back in the centre. James Hird in the centre bounce as Alessio once again pushes his opponent out. Good work there to get the kick forward. Danaher running onto it, as was McKenna. Tap over by Cockatoo-Collins to Metropolis. Gehrig in the van now. Fletcher overruns it. In comes Danaher once again, runs into a brick wall. Fletcher off the ground. But Waterman leads Lucas to the ball to repel what was a promising attack by the Bombers. Just a short chip kick going to Gehrig. Gehrig was heady, I think. Heady off the ground, gets it to Kemp. Kemp hooks one over his left shoulder. Sitting underneath it, waiting for the steam train to come through was Hardwick. He didn't take the mark. It was a courageous performance.
But he did everything right. He kept his eyes on the ball, but really it was a floating high kick and eventually Banfield. But Hardwick certainly did everything he had to do to attempt the mark.
Doolan warming up on the bench for Essendon, preparing to get back onto the playing arena. Schofield to Banfield. His kick into the middle, knocked away. Lovell, Barnard. Is that a free kick? No, umpire just says play on. He's not far from the action. And eventually decides on a bounce. So
Chris Danaher's come off the field and Doolan has replaced him. Now, one would think he must have an injury problem. I wouldn't have thought the play determined that move.
Well, Doolan's still on his own at half forward. Kicked away by O'Donnell and the mark is taken by Mercuri. Mercuri to just bomb away. It's a good long kick by Mark Mercuri. It's a goal. Essendon get their 7th. Mark Mercuri's first goal.
And yes, I think this Alessio situation in the ruck, I mean, he has really done very well in there, comparative to Downsborough and the pairing that was on earlier in the game. And Essendon really are getting a bit of momentum going at the moment if they can sort of shut down the Eagles' scoring power up the other end. They just look much more dangerous going forward in this third quarter.
It's 2-1 in the third term. Mark Mercuri, you'd be loving this ground. It is generally the best surface that we've seen for a long time. Nasidi out of the middle. Bombers doing it well out of the centre bounce clearances. Gehrig looked for the free kick, but Hird comes up with it, dances and weaves his way back into some trouble there. Finally it was Metropolis. That was a throw. Wasn't paid against him. Waterman off the ground. Morrison versus Doolan back on the ground. Sets up his teammate Barnard from 50 metres out, just inside. He shoots it goal. Over the back was Fletcher. Couldn't quite take it. Hooks it round the corner. Good pressure by the Eagles. Heady under pressure. Tight and fierce in defence now for the Eagles, as finally McKenna clears the ball to Waterman.
Waterman looks downfield, then kicks in the Mitchell White direction. He's taken about a dozen marks, Mitchell White. Away to Banfield. Banfield, Cousins slips his opposition, runs away, but a great chase provided by Barry Young. Slung Cousins off the ball. Gathered by Harvey's in strife. Play goes on. Still a chance for Donnelly, the handball. Harvey down by Subiaco. Still the play goes on. By gee, you've got to get a kick and earn it here. Mitchell White shoots for goal and breaks the deadlock. Great goal by Mitchell White. Unbelievable passage of football, resulting in a goal to the Eagles. They lead by 3 once again.
And it came up really from the defensive work of the Eagles forwards. They just wouldn't let the ball out of their forward line there. Essendon was some really flurried, great tackle by Subiaco, and then really Mitchell White, great composure. One step, bang, goal.
Well, the good news for the Eagles that they scored the goal, but Ben Cousins has just been carried off the ground. Looks to have hurt a knee, perhaps. We'll get a talk from Dwayne Lamb, a message from him shortly. Lucas had his kick smothered. Cockatoo-Collins sharp hands over to Barnard. Barnard wheels around. He's kicked it a long bomb into the top of the square. It's McIntosh versus Fletcher. McIntosh couldn't take it, but Hird round the corner. Replies for the Bombers. They've got their 8. Plenty of support here for the Bombers, and they're certainly turning it on in this third term.
I think there's one very important player on the ground. Here you see Barnard, a good centre, got the ball out in front of the goals, and eventually Hird got the ball and scored. But the last 2 centre bounce clearances have come through Joe Masudi. He started on interchange. He's had a short game. He could be a pretty good player. He really is a great ball getter if he's got a little bit of freshness about him. And last 2 centre bounce clearances will be interesting to see whether he might be the midfielder to really give Essendon the impetus.
Well, West Coast lead by 2 goals. They led by 20 points at half-time. Up high was Downsborough, but Essendon a chance to get clear again. Ola Renshaw to O'Donnell. O'Donnell's kick to a one-on-one between Hurd and Gehrig. Gather is by Mercuri. He's kicked a goal. Mercuri has kicked 2, and there is only 6 points in this match after Essendon trailed by 20 points at half-time.
Well, this really is a fantastic game of football. I mean, really, we spoke about the skills early in the game and the pressure, and it's got it all, really. And some really quick hands, the quick hands for O'Donnell. And have a look at Cockatoo-Collins here. It's just a get it and give it, and then Mercuri did the finishing, but it was the really quick get and give by Cockatoo-Collins under intense pressure. He was the one who gave it to Barnard for the goal before. Really, this game is open for grabs.
Certainly when there's only 19 goals being kicked, it's got to be centre clearances, and Alessio has been such a tremendous influence in this third quarter.
We played the first half centre half forward. This time it's an even go. Got Cummings, so bursts off the back of the line. He comes through with the left foot. The Bombers in attack once again. They're on a roll, but that roll has just been stopped by Guy McKenna. All of a sudden it's Essendon in control. McKenna to Matera. I think Matera's been eclipsed by Ola Renshaw. It's a pretty good effort by him having his first game for 96. And Dean Kemp comes up with the ball once again.
Oh, and have a bit of a dig at each other too. Ola Renshaw and Matera just off the football there.
Dean Kemp with 9 kicks, 9 handballs, having plenty of the football. And this fellow, well, he might not be quite as good as Wayne Carey, but he's certainly in the next level of forwards, certainly this year. Downsborough gets the ball forward. The Eagles in attack, good work by Wallace. Desperado stuff. Gets the ball off the ground. Hart couldn't take it. Nearly copped the shirt front. Hands by Schofield. Over the top. Quick hands. Gets it to Downsborough from 30 metres out. He's replied. What a great goal and a great game. Great hands, Tony Evans. And the West Coast Eagles now lead by 8 points, 11-7, 73 to 9-7. 61.
Well, they've maintained this 2-goal lead, but really it's taken some terrific play to do it. Again, a quick hands here. Downsborough run off Alessio there for once. He has to be able to do that. Alessio's going to be too tall in the ruck contest. Downsborough has to really trouble Essendon at ground level.
So it's goal for goal in this third term. The West Coast Eagles now lead by 2 goals. And the parochial crowd certainly have found some voice. O'Donnell once again takes it from Alessio. Hurd underneath it, great hands, the young champion. Wheels around, gets the ball moving quickly, looking once again for and finding Dustin. Fletcher over to Cockatoo-Collins, always dangerous. Bobs comes back on his right foot, has a bounce, has to go all the way himself. Ball in the centre of the ground. Mercuri for his third. A great goal to the Bombers. Will this goal onslaught stop?
This is a great game of footy. Tremendous game. It's the best game I've seen this year.
Yes, it's Premier. You're almost off your chair.
It's just a fast, open, flowing game of football. And there wasn't a heap of scoring done in that first half, really. But now both sides have got the scoreboard ticking over, and really Essendon are coming at them. Eagles have to keep scoring.
But you don't have to see big scores kicked in a game of footy, do you? I mean, this is a good example.
True, there's pressure, but there's really... it's a great spectacle. I'm enjoying it. I hope the viewers are.
A goal of difference. West Coast lead. We've got 8 minutes left in this magnificent third quarter that has seen the players just reach another level. Lucas bursts his way through, forces it forward for Essendon. James Hurd, have a look at the skill. He falls over, maybe important. He drags it back in underneath. And that is always a risk.
Now, umpire.
It is always a risk, though, if you fall over and drag it back in. I know it looks criminal.
I think that was a correct decision. Once you've dragged it under, you have to successfully be able to knock it out, and Hurd was unable to do it, so it was a free kick.
Well, the Bombers have got their adrenaline pumping. Scott Lucas's mark was good. Harvey takes the hand pass. It's a contest right in the centre of the ground. Mercuri's lifted. All Bombers players have lifted. Mercedes kick towards full forward. Knocked away by McIntosh. Gathered by Hurd. Scores a level! Scores a level at Subiaco. They're tied up at 11-7 apiece. Goal for James Hurd.
Just fantastic again. Harvey took the punt of going, and really fantastic trap there by Mercuri. Spun round again with Sudi, who's just starting to get the ball as a fresh midfielder. And Hurd, well, is always dangerous. And one thing you know about Hurd, he's going to keep going a lot better. The game keeps going, and whether Gehrig has the stamina to run with him the whole game, that's really what's going to be tested.
Over 7 minutes to play in this third quarter, one of the best terms of football for the season. Mercuri's got 3 and Hurd's got 2 for the Bombers. The Eagles need a reply, and through comes one of their champs in Kemp. His kick was smothered, and here comes another one in Matera. He needs to lift for the Eagles. He comes back onto his right foot and kicks it long. He's looking for Subiaco. It won't get that far. Harvey come over the back with a punch. Pushes out his player in Donnelly. And finally, we'll get a little bit of a respite here. And Rob, I've been a great critic of cricket grounds in the middle of football pitches, but when you get a stage like this, it is fantastic, and the standard of play is lifted accordingly.
Centre breaks in the third term, certainly favouring Essendon, and that's indicated by the scoreboard. The umpire slips over. Peter Matera, nearly run down by Olorenshaw, gets the hand pass back to Lovell. Lovell across his left shoulder will lob the ball nearly in the square, but a good mark taken by Cummings. It gets back across that full back line. Kicks the ball across that line to Mercuri. Mercuri can run outside the 50-metre defensive area. He kicks it out towards the wing. The mark not taken. At the back, Downsborough does well. So too does Mercuri. Gets it to Alessio. Alessio's kicked the centre half forward, and a well-judged mark by Gehrig. Hand pass to Heady. Heady short to Donnelly. Banfield. Hand pass again. They've got numbers in the middle of the ground. Waterman out wide. Lovell just makes a bit of a path here for Mitchell White. Barry Young to run him down. Gives away ground back to David Hart. The intensity in this game is quite magnificent. David Hart's kick to the goal square. Marking contest. Lovell from behind. It may bounce through. No, it's close. It's knocked over by Scott Cummings for a rush behind. And you quite wonder whether even giving away behinds in a game like this is going to be critical in the final wrapper.
I think a very good player for us in this quarter has been Scott Lucas, who's now playing on half-back opposed to Donnelly. They started the ruck together, and I thought Lucas has really run through hard off the half-back line there and really given Essendon something there.
Well, at three-quarter time, at half-time, the Eagles led by 20 points. The Bombers have got that back now to just trail by 1 point. Over the back was Barnard. Couldn't quite take it. Good hands from Doolan onto O'Donnell, onto Hurd. Great mark by Hurd. Gets away from Gehrig. He'll take him on with pace. He wants another goal. He's third for the turn from 50 metres out. He's gone goalwards. It's home. What a game. And what a quarter by Hurd and Mercuri. 3 goals apiece.
Well, that was just sensational, wasn't it? I mean, the ball was, I suppose, what you'd call a 55-45 marking chance, and he marked it, but then he just took off at ground level, ran to 50 and drilled it. And the 3 goals to Hurd this quarter, he's really just lifted Essendon and himself.
They've now kicked 7 goals in this third term. The West Coast Eagles just 3, and the Bombers have wrested the lead by 5 points.
Knocked forward by Downsborough, but O'Donnell has been quite magnificent around the centre bounces as well. A great captain's game by Gary O'Donnell. Knocked back towards centre half forward. Cockatoo-Collins. James Hurd. Darren Bewick goes in. Can the Bombers get their 8th? Bewick has missed. He usually slices the opposition up, Darren Bewick, in that situation.
Took it too easy. He actually tried to really ease the kick when he really had to run at the goals and drive it hard, and that's the way to keep it on line.
So Darren Bewick just 2 behinds. He is a goal-kicking small player, midfielder. This is McKenna. 4 3/4 minutes left. Looking maybe to settle the Eagles down. They've been absolutely bombarded by a barrage from the Bombers. The kick close to the wing. Nearly taken there by Donnelly. Bump. Maybe, no, nothing happening. The umpire says throw it in. So 12-8 to 11-8. Essendon lead by 6 points. Very much an important game if you are considering the make-up of the final 8 after the roster games are finished. The top 4 sides have no fear about travelling interstate for a final, and both of these sides are endeavouring to finish in the top 4.
And I think Mick Moult has been a bit concerned about Joe Mercuri, because Banfield has now gone in on ball to pick him up, and Kemp has gone to half forward. And Evans has gone forward once Cousins went off, and he's probably trying to drag Wanganeen out of the play.
Banfield's kick back to the centre. Lucas, magnificent play from half-back. Oh, Cockatoo-Collins! Magnificent mark. He'll play on, he'll go in, and the Bombers will lead by 2 goals. It's all clear, don't worry about that. 2 goals to Shea Cockatoo-Collins, and the 8th goal of the quarter. To the Bombers, they lead by 12 points.
And again, I mentioned before about Scott Lucas. He just come hard off the half-back line, took the ball with him, ran and drove it forward, and then Cockatoo-Collins just had to sit. Beautiful floating mark, and really been an exhilarating quarter of football. The adrenaline's flowing through the Essendon bodies at the moment.
And they're not the only ones, Luke. As we go once again with nearly 4 minutes of play remaining. Alessio in the middle. He's dominated this third term. Bewick hooks it round the corner, but to no avail. Metropolis just took an easy mark. No pressure whatsoever from Essendon there. Gets it onto the running McIntosh. The Eagles need a reply. They've got Banfield. Quick hands now to Sakura on for his first run. That's his first kick in AFL football. Wasn't exactly where he wanted it to go as Damien Hardwick has come up with the football. He moves now into the centre of the ground. Once again, it's Alessio. He's becoming a match-winning force in this game. Harvey runs across him, now gets the ball. Lost his opponent in the shuffle. Harvey once again looking for the tools down there on the forward line. It's Barnard who's having a bit of an impact, Robbo, despite being a wingman.
Centre breaks, Jarrad. Essendon 17 to West Coast 9. That is progressive, but I would suggest that it's probably been something like about 9-0 in this quarter.
Yep.
Well, Paul Barnard fancies his chances, unless he's just going for the dummy, waiting for a lead, but from near on 60 metres out, he lets one fly. There's a bit of a wind behind him. Big pack in the back. Off the ground was Cockatoo-Collins, another miracle goal. Out of the air.
The Eagles are shell-shocked.
Well, it's incredible the noise though. There is plenty of support here for Essendon.
Plenty of red and black supporters in the ground. Not obviously outnumbered, but certainly a bit of noise from that cheer squad. And really been a fantastic quarter by Essendon, as we've said many times. But I think the breeze is pushing down to that outer end, so the Eagles will be coming home within the third quarter. But they've really got to stem the flow around midfield. The centre bounces, that whole midfield area. Bewick, O'Donnell, Mercuri have taken over in there, and Alessio's ruck work has just started it all.
Mercuri been terrific too. He's kicked something like 2 goals in this term already. They've kicked 9 goals to 3 in this quarter. And Mick Malthouse quickly down on the boundary line to prepare for his 3/4 time address. Bearing in mind the Eagles led this match by 20 points at half-time. They now trail by 18, so it's been a 38-point turnaround in about 25 minutes of football. Eagles under pressure across half-back. This is Heady. They've got a chance here. Downsborough should be on the end of this. He can get round onto his right foot. Nearly run down there by Barry Young, and the kick towards full forward has been marked by Lucas. He's a good young player, is Scott Lucas. Gets good distance with the kick and favours O'Donnell. Looks to play on, does O'Donnell. Down the line. Fletcher couldn't take the mark from in front of McIntosh, and it's over for a boundary throw-in. 2 minutes left in the term. O'Donnell with something like, 19 kicks, Gary O'Donnell. He's been a terrific leader, probably his best game for quite a number of weeks, I would suggest. 2 minutes left in the term. Fletcher to do the ruck work. McIntosh to go after it, to the advantage of Evans. Accordingly to Banfield. Banfield's kick is beautiful. Puts it on the chest of Donnelly, who on this occasion has outpointed Scott Lucas. Very rare in the last 10 or 12 minutes. Lucas has been terrific. Donnelly takes a bit of a gamble. The ball spills to the back. Sakura, has he got the skill to dob this? He hooks it too far. And it's through for a behind. Kicked by Shane Sakura for the Eagles. 17 points the margin. 14-8 to 11-9. We're very, very close to 3/4 time.
Wanganeen just a chip kick to himself to get the Bombers clear. Nothing was offering, so he's finally gone for the boundary line. I guess we could say, Lee, that at least the opposition haven't come up with it.
They haven't.
Just under a minute and a half of play remaining in what's been a magnificent third term here at Subiaco.
It's interesting on those kick-ins. The Eagles have played man-to-man all day, but I don't know whether the Essendon have been able to take full advantage of getting a player moving to that space out wide. I think the Eagles just like to play one-on-one, and they take the punt and do it all over the ground.
Lucas against Donnelly. Kemp comes up with it, quick hands, looking for Shane Sakura. He's jumped on by a couple of Essendon players, and they're playing with some confidence and desperation now, the Bombers.
It's interesting, Chris Danaher on the bench there. He kicked a goal in this quarter. Very quickly went to the bench soon after that, and it's just been an avalanche of Essendon goals since then. Bewick, that hand pass, attempted hand pass, just intercepted by Barry Young to force it over for a boundary throw-in. Sakura. Here's Mickey Malthouse. Well, he's got some concerns now. Mind you, even though there were only 13 goals kicked in the first half, they were still in this match, Essendon. Dean Kemp's kick to the goal square. Sumic has got it. No, he hasn't. Bewick overrun. Kick clear by Cousins. Hard it was. Now a chance for Wanganeen. Little left foot kick. Good smother there by Cummings. Not able to clear the congestion there though. Evans gets it back. Sakura. Kick forward by Banfield. No one home for the Eagles. Time ticking away. And Wanganeen, a gallant defender. Good kick too. Fletcher. Mercuri. Back to Mercuri. Oh, brilliantly done by the Bombers. They get out of that half-back area for the Eagles, and Fletcher's kick will land at half-forward. Gehrig now under pressure, goes for the safety of the boundary line.
And that shoulder we talked about of Darren Bewick, I think that chronic shoulder problem's popped up again. He's just about to leave the field.
Yeah, when the shoulder just comes out a little bit, they end up with a condition known as dead arm, and they can't move it. It just feels incredibly painful. And what was a golden opportunity for the Eagles has now gone begging.
Boundary throw in. Alessio gets onto it. James Hurd swings one way, swings the other. He's kicked. The score will not register. But it has been quite a magnificent third quarter by Essendon. Probably the best quarter of football that I think we've seen for the year by the Bombers. Maybe by any side. They kicked 9 goals in that third term to the West Coast 3. They turned a 20-point deficit into a 17-point advantage at three-quarter time, and they lead 14-8-92 to the West Coast 11-9-75.
Kevin Shooty ran to the end that was Essendon were kicking to that quarter to have the three-quarter time huddle there. Must be some strategy behind that, but I'm not quite sure what it is, but maybe that's just because where the ball was, he wanted to gather them in. But really the momentum and the morale of the Essendon team, they just worked so hard. Gradually their confidence lifted, and it was a fantastic quarter, and really the Eagles have to turn it all around in this final quarter to win the game.
Well, in the last 6 games, the Bombers have lost to North Melbourne, Brisbane Bears and Carlton, all sides above them, and have beaten Hawthorn, Fitzroy and Richmond, all sides below them. They currently have a pretty handy lead of 17 points, so we'll come back after the break and we'll probably find out a little bit more about where Essendon exactly sit in 1996.
A very important first 5 or 6 minutes in this match now, the start of the last term. Essendon lead by 17 points. They're 14-8 to 11-9. If the Eagles are to win this match, you would think they would have to kick the first goal. But it's Alessio's kick to centre half forward. It's punched back towards the centre. Nearly gathered there by Lucas. The ball spills. It was Blumfield. Went in after it again. And the umpire will be forced to bounce just wide of centre half forward for the Bombers.
I think the Eagles recognised their midfield was badly down in the third quarter, and Evans and Lovell, 2 fresh midfielders, and Kemp have gone in there this quarter.
Alessio to do the ruck work. Doolan's handball. O'Donnell. Back to Lucas. Lucas off his favoured left side. Gets good distance across the half forward line. It spills. Cockatoo-Collins tries to tap it to the back. Gather was by Waterman. He was under enormous pressure. Essendon playing with spirit. Cockatoo-Collins to Olorenshaw. Olorenshaw knocks it forward. In goes Mercuri. Cockatoo-Collins again. Matera to take it over, and the boundary umpire will throw it in the left forward pocket for Essendon.
I think Peter Matera pretty pleased when he turned around and saw the umpire signal ball it in, because there was just a hint of deliberate about that little execution over the boundary line. Out of the boundary, throw in goes Alessio's, kicked it straight up in the air, underneath it Macintosh. Metropolis punches it out of the air to the safety of the boundary line.
See, the momentum certainly with Essendon, isn't it?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that Stephen Alessio has given him an armchair ride since he's been moved into the ruck. He really has been a dominant force. Once again, the ball deep in attack for the Bombers. Alessio just doing what he likes out of the ruck now, coming up against Chad Morrison, a jockey in comparison. Fraser, Gehrig and Mark Mercuri will have a wrestle over who comes up with the ball.
Alessio was even pushing into Essendon's forward line now and doing the ruck work down there.
We'll look for Alessio to take this one out of the bounce. This time it was Downsbury, comes over the top, Hurd swoops on it. Lovell underneath it, he's been a little bit quiet since half-time. Kemp up in the air, Donnelly versus Lucas, he's been great Lucas since half-time. And Chad Morrison just edges the ball forward for the West Coast Eagles. So we're just a couple of minutes into this final term, and Essendon 14-8-92 have a 17-point lead over the West Coast, 11-9-75. It's been some time since the Eagles have kicked a goal. Bit of a non-event, the boundary throw in, quick hands from Blumfield, finds Derwin.
Yes, I think Alessio will continue to come up and do the centre bounce ruck work, but after the centre bounce, Lucas is virtually going on the ball and Alessio is pushing into play as a permanent forward.
Well, he's a terrific leaping, jumping, athletic young man, has got Lucas. Now this time the ball falls to Evans at the back of that boundary throw-in. Mitchell White, that could be paid as a mark. He's taken about 13 now. He's kicking the Sumic direction. Knocked away. Chance for the Eagles here. Schofield gathers. Back to Lovell. Lovell, snapshot from about 40 metres. Misses. Off to the right was Andy Lovell. His first score for the day, just behind. Peter Sumic, the leading goal scorer for the West Coast, has kicked 6. All the others are singles. And for Essendon, they've got 3 players who have kicked 3 goals, and most of them came in the third quarter. Mercuri, James Hurd and Cockatoo-Collins all have 3 against their name. Kick in by O'Donnell finds Mercedi. Still within scoring distance as far as the Eagles are concerned. His kick finds Fletcher. And now it will be well out of danger from the Eagles' point of view. Fletcher's kick towards the wing. Good mark taken by Schofield.
Yes, they need a lift in the middle, the Eagles, if they're to get back into this game. Jarrad Schofield, just the sort of player, can weave some magic and deliver the ball forward to Sumic. Looking for Donnelly this time. Big punch over the back from Lucas. He's done that exceptionally well today. Lovell. Left foot looking for Sumic out in front. Right hand Sumic under extreme pressure from Wallace. Tremendous mark on the lead. Toughest spot to take them out in front of the eyes.
Well, it has, but it's still a difficult mark. The arms have to be extended so that you prevent the defender getting his fist to the ball. And with straight elbows, it's not easy to have the hands soft enough to be able to take possession. But Sumic was certainly able to do it then.
Brilliant kick from Andy Lovell to set Peter Sumic up for his 7th goal for this afternoon. He'll be the hometown hero if he can kick the Eagles to a win here. As he pulls this one back, the customary bend will leave it to the umpire.
They need the goal, the Eagles. You can see this first few minutes of the quarter that they've sort of stabilised the general play situation, but they need to actually get that goal or two to really get the action, the scoreboard ticking, and to really get the adrenaline flowing.
Chris Danaher warming up on the boundary line. He's got a bandage above his right knee, so it might be a bit of a problem for Essendon. Bewick in trouble with the shoulder. But they come away from half-back. Ola Renshaw and Barry Young. Barry Young's kick will land close to the boundary line. Gatherers by Barnard. He's grabbed. Able to get his kick away though, which was quite effective, and a good mark taken in the back pocket by McKenna. He could switch play. He'll go straight across that half-back line, looking for Matera. Matera hemmed in close to the line, gets the kick away also. Out towards the wing. Hardwick is there. He's run down there by Banfield. Ball spills over for a throw-in.
You notice Brett Heady then was following Barnard to the ball. He must be feeling the pinch. First game for fair while for the Eagles at senior level.
Interesting stat, West Coast's last goal, 17.5 minutes into the third quarter, so it's been a dry run for a long time. Look at the pace of Kemp, able to run away, then guides the ball beautifully towards half forward. The mark is taken by Donnelly. Now Donnelly must kick this goal, you would think, if the Eagles are to pinch this game. They led comfortably at half-time by 20 points, but a magnificent third term by the Bombers in which they kicked 9 goals sees Essendon with the lead at this stage, although it is only a 15-point margin. Subiaco missed just a minute or so ago from a straightforward shot. So the Eagles fans watching Andrew Donnelly's kick for goal will go close to the line. It's punched over by Dean Wallace for a boundary throw-in. Left forward pocket for the West Coast. They trail Essendon. West Coast are 11-11. Essendon are 14-8.
Important throw in this one. Subiaco looking for a free kick, comes up to Cousins, gets it to Waterman, gets rid of Wallace, hooks it round with his left foot, hits the post. That will be a kick to Essendon. Gavin Wanganeen needs some composure here. Got to try and maintain possession, the Bombers. They're under siege, their lead is slowly being whittled down. One suggests that if a goal is scored by the West Coast, this game will be well and truly in the balance. Blumfield, young player showing plenty today. Spent some time on the bench, but when he gets the football, usually makes the right decisions. This time he goes for Lucas. Donnelly's an expert in the air. It's been a great battle since those two have matched up.
They're two fairly young players. Lucas, much younger, really. He's a very promising player, Lucas. Only still a teenager, I think. Plenty ahead of him.
McIntosh in the front spot. Fletcher over the back, gets it moving forward for the Bombers. Morrison takes it over the boundary line, looks for a free kick, but not forthcoming. I think rightly, Robbo, the umpires have put their whistles away and you really have to earn your free kick.
Yeah, well, the free kicks, there's only been 13 awarded. 9 have gone to the West Coast and 4 have gone to Essendon. And it's been a great contest. Dustin Fletcher does the ruck work. Nearly robbed by Dean Kemp. Lovell to Evans. Was that legal? Back to Gehrig. Was that legal? McIntosh, yes. Then eventually it has to have been awarded a free kick for a throw against the Eagles, and it's taken by Mercuri. Mercuri, good kick too. Terrific penetration. Cockatoo-Collins bounced off his nose. Matera, McKenna. Usually something comes of this. McKenna runs away, but the kick goes to a one-on-one. Oh, great mark. That's paid. Terrific mark to young Cousins in front of Wanganeen. Very important possession on centre wing. The West Coast have the football. They trail by 15 points. Cousins, his kick will land at centre half forward. At the back, Wallace. Subiaco can't get his right foot to it. Tries to hack it out of the congestion. Umpire will bounce at centre half forward for the Eagles about 45 metres from their goal.
Yes, but the Eagles supporters thought that Summer should have come up with a free kick. Wallace dragged him out of it as he didn't have possession of the football, but they've only played the absolute obvious ones this afternoon as Hurd takes the ball out of the bounce, handballs blindly. Dangerous times now for the Bombers. Off the ground goes Schofield. Back with Hurd. Cool in a crisis. Goes backwards to go forwards by Joe Mercuri, but he's just blazed the ball away and hopefully it'll go out for the boundary line. Kept in by Matera.
No, it's not. Oh, must have only been centimetres in that.
Well, Dennis Cometti was here, he'd say that was centimetre perfect, that one of Joe Mercedes, because it looked as if Matera had plenty of time. Hurd once again, forcing the issue, throws the ball away and he's paid a penalty. The umpire's actually played advantage. It comes to Drew Banfield. He drives it into looking for a mark. Subiaco couldn't quite take it. Ben Cousins gets the ball away. Doesn't quite affect a good handball. Kemp takes the football. Wanganeen bustling and hustling and gets it over to Hardwick. And finally some relief and some respite through Doolan.
Gee, the football's hot and the player's intense. McIntosh tries to take the mark. Gets back onto his right, then kicks with his left. In towards the pocket, nearly taken by Wanganeen. Cousins gives the hand pass back. Looks for Evans, handball to no one in particular, smothers the ball off the boot to Tony Evans. In goes Barry Young and just holds it up there for the Bombers, importantly so. and the umpire will bounce about 45 metres from the West Coast goal.
Hey, James Hird does everything but carries your baggage. He's in the ruck now, and Lucas has gone to centre half forward.
12 minutes left. Up goes Donnelly. Chance for Cousins. Andy Lovell will go in and get a goal. And 12th on the scoreboard for the Eagles. First goal to Andy Lovell, and it pulls the margin back to just 9 points, and we've got 12 minutes left in the match.
Yes, and certainly it's been a different quarter, this one, to the third quarter. The Eagles have really been forcing the ball forward all the time. It was critical, however, they got that first goal, because really they were looking dangerous, but they just couldn't put the pressure, the scoreboard pressure onto Essendon until that goal.
Well, the Bombers now lead by 9 points, and Kevin Sheedy has summoned Stephen Alessio from full forward once again to go into the ruck.
Well, I think he said go to the centre bounces, Jarrad, and then he'll push into the forward line after that.
The following closely is the bounce down favours the Eagles Downsborough. Kemp nearly gets decapitated, good enough to get through.
Going to be penalised.
Played against him. Interesting decision from Hayden Kennedy.
Well, he had 2 or 3 chances to get rid of it.
Long kick now into the forward line for Essendon. Over the back was Cockatoo-Collins. He couldn't take it. As all players are looking for a breather. This is Australian rules football at its finest. On a fantastic surface, we're seeing a great standard of football. James Hird split this game open with 3 goals in the third term, as did Mark Mercuri. Hird once again takes the tap, kicks it up in the air, looking for a high fly. Couldn't quite get it, was Mercuri. Now comes down, goes backwards, looking for Joe Mercuri, but under pressure the handball goes astray and it's out of bounds as Chris Danaher just reminds Kevin Sheedy of his right to come back on. He's got his right thigh heavily taped. He has been jogging around the boundary line, suggesting he's ready to go.
James Hird again, a high leap. Alessio, kick is reasonably effective. It's right in front of Essendon's goal. It's kicked away on the full by an Eagles player. May have been Metropolis. Back there in that full-back line, Andy Lovell was in the action as well, so it's a free kick to Essendon to be taken by Barnard. 11 minutes left. Paul Barnard. Mercuri leads, ignored. Barnard kicks. It goes across the face. It's knocked through for a rush behind to Essendon by the Eagles' defence, so it is 10 points the margin. Time remaining in the left corner of the screen. West Coast by 10 points. They've only kicked 1 goal in the last quarter of football. They kicked their 11th goal at the 17-minute mark of the third quarter. They kicked their 12th goal just a little while ago through Andy Lovell. Top effort out there, a great effort by Smoke and Joe Mercuri. He's been awarded the mark, away to Hardwick.
He drives the ball into the forward line looking for Alessio. The big man couldn't quite take it. Fletcher, smart tap out for Cockatoo-Collins. He's got some skill also. He came up against a player that reads it as well as anybody, Guy McKenna. He put his hand on it and stopped it flat as Cockatoo-Collins comes off the ground to be replaced by Chris Danaher. Shane Sakura warming up for the Eagles. It's 40 metres out from Essendon's goal. Heady takes it, comes back onto the left. He has a look and all he can see is Chris Danaher, so he goes to the boundary line. It's a pretty smart kick in the finish.
Well, really it's a question of which side I think you keep the nerve. I mean, Essendon have got the lead, but it's really a pressure-packed game, and mistakes could well determine the game as much as the offensive good play. Metropolis
off for Sakura as once again Alessio's dominance and height in the ruck pays dividends. Through comes Evans, gets it to Lovell, having a good last term. This kick isn't a great one. Goes over the head to O'Donnell. Yes, it was a good one. Banfield quickly onto Sakura. Sakura looking for White, but he's beaten by Cummings, who fumbles it crucially, but comes back with a fine second effort to get it over the line. I've done this much work for a long time, what?
No.
It's pumping.
Well, it's just everything. The game is so much in the balance, and every player is just giving his all. It's really something to watch.
Mitchell White, talented player. Gets it onto Gehrig, slowly onto Kemp, sets up Sakura, he goes for a run. He's picked up the tempo pretty well, the youngster playing his first game. Sumic looking for a free kick. Waterman off the ground, it's rolling towards goal, but Wanganeen coming back, just picks it up, steadies himself. Kick wasn't a great one, over the head of Young, and through comes Sakura. The whole play 40 metres out from goal, with the Bombers leading by 10 points.
9 minutes left. Boundary throw in, about 40 metres around from the Eagles' goal. Every person at this ground still in doubt as to the result. As that kick, it's going to be penalised. In a tight game like this.
Well, he's an interesting character, Greg Stroop, because he hasn't paid a couple of free kicks that were fairly obvious, I thought, and up he comes with a controversial deliberate.
Kemp's kick will find McIntosh. He drops the mark. Still on the goal line for the Eagles, and well done by Dustin Fletcher. The umpire will have to bounce. Right on the goal line. Have a look at this from Wanganeen. And that is unbelievable. Anyway, it's all over and done with. Scoreboard, Essendon 14-9, West Coast 12-11, 10 points the margin. Chance for Sumic. Oh, he's just squeezed it through there, hasn't he?
Right. Mitchell White, pretty short.
Well, it's only 4 points the margin. Essendon lead.
Mitchell White capped off a fantastic game. He couldn't have had a more needed goal in his football career, I would have thought.
Well, it's a great goal to the Peter Sumic lookalike and Mitchell White. We've got two great forwards at either end of the ground as Evans comes forward. Andy Lovell having a big turn. Over to Donnelly. From 40 metres out, he shoots a goal, but it's a wide. Sumic this time. Just behind. To bring the margin back to just 3 points. In what has been a classic game of AFL football. The Essendon skipper Gary O'Donnell will go down and take the ball from the kick out. Kevin Sheedy barking instructions on the telephone. Time for cool heads now, both sides. Chris Danaher, good in a crisis. He's got a good track record over many years. Gets it to Doolin. He played on. It's a great tackle. And another decision by umpire Greg Stroop. It will impact heavily on this game. Dean Kemp, no one takes him out on. He goes long. At the back of the pack, it's Banfield. Can he get his foot on it? No. And good defensive work there by Damien Hardwick. So there's another point on the board to the West Coast Eagles. The score 13-13-91. 14-11-93 the Bombers. They lead by 2
I
points.
was talking about an errors could well determine the game. Well, umpiring decisions, the key umpiring decisions could also, that holding the ball, the out of bounce over the other end. They're just decisions that could have gone either way but went towards the Eagles on the game.
The kick in has been well marked by Laurentiaw. He is at right half back. He looks to get the hand pass away. Kick forward by Blumfield. It bounces awkwardly in the middle. Lovell tried to get it to Kemp. Lovell tackled. Ball spills. Tony Evans squeezes a kick out. It lands inside 50. No mark. Sumic to come out and tackle Cummings. The ball's still there to be won. What can Cousins do? Cousins! The kick has been marked by O'Donnell. He's working tirelessly across that full back line. Just goes across the line where Wanganeen has made good position. He's marked in the left back pocket. No one to kick to. Scott Lucas is a long way away, but the short kick has been marked by Mercuri. Mercuri is still in his defensive 50-metre area. His kick out towards the wing. Good mark, terrific mark taken at the back by Alessio. Gets the handball across to the middle of the ground. Kick forward by Harvey. It'll land. Oh, good mark. Top mark taken by Blumfield. One-hander. Kicks quickly towards full forward. Matera knocks it back. It's at centre half back now for the Eagles. Hand pass by Schofield. Gives Morrison the chance. Morrison a lovely kick with terrific penetration. Back goes Cummings. Eagles fans look for a free kick to White. Cummings kick to Mercuri. Mercedes handball to Harvey. Essendon standing up at this stage. The kick should be marked by Morrison. It's not paid. Morrison gets an important foot to the ball. Evans back to Schofield. Tries to outrun, then Banfield. Back to Waterman. Down the line. Chance for Evans again. Onto the right foot goes Tony Evans, and the marking contest at the goal front. Still there. Sumic dragged off the ball. So is Cousins. Wanganeen. He won't make a mistake with this one. Dean Wallace in lots of strife. Now Cummings. Oh, there's that bounced out. Oh, there was centimetres in that one too.
Well, the pressure is absolutely peaking here. Young players really lifting. We saw a great mark to Blundfield, just 5.5 minutes to go. Chad Morrison, another first-year player, played the Victorian VSFL last year, also rising to the occasion. Donnelly versus Lucas. Lovell had a great turn. Gets the ball forward. Can they keep it in? No. 2 points the margin. The home crowd with the Eagles. Tip Mick Malthouse just establishes a little bit of strategy for this last couple of minutes.
Tip a winner.
We're trying to do that all year without much success.
Yeah.
The ball in 50 metres out from the Eagles' goal. Schofield once again. The pressure has been enormous, and great credit to the Essendon backline, because they have been under enormous pressure for about 10 minutes and really haven't succumbed at all. What would you do, Lee?
Not a coach's game now. It's now up to the players to just play it out the last few minutes.
Lee Matthews sitting on the fence nicely as Evans comes through. Wanganeen had a great game. Gets the ball quietly with a nice little handball. And that was bound to Justin Blundfield once again. McKenna onto Heady. Heady goes wide looking for Donnelly. He's a great mark, and that is no exception. Just plucked it out of the hands of Mercuri, who looked at the umpire, hoping that it would go the other way. Let's have a look at this kick.
It is fantastic, really. Donnelly jumped. He started the ball, started the game in the ruck, and did pretty well for the Eagles there.
Well, Fade the kick at goal, then he went short. Great tackle there by the Eagles. Ball still alive.
Your heart would be in your mouth if you're Mick Malthouse.
I was saying before, sometimes as a coach, with a few minutes to go, scores are close, you sit back in your chair and say, well, it's up to the players now. They've just got to play it out. It's this kind of game for this last few minutes.
Well, it's anybody's ball here as Mercuri comes up with an important possession. Once again, it'll go over the line. We'll just keep Alessio up on the forward line, mate.
Well, I think I'd be inclined to push him up, because the Eagles have got all the momentum. So I think the ruck work here, which Alessio has dominated against Downsborough, would probably be a good thing to do.
Well, if they can just break away from half back, maybe Alessio might be a key player as far as the mark's concerned. Look at Waterman's kick. There is a game-winning kick by Chris Waterman, a goal. Waterman's first goal, and in the dying minutes of the game, there's less than 4 minutes left. The Eagles have wrenched away the lead. They're in front by 4 points.
And it just curled round on the left foot, and the crowd went up. We all knew it was through, and really, it's been a fantastic quarter of football by the Eagles, but with only a kick in it, it's anyone's game.
Ball back in the centre. The Eagles lead by 4 points. Hurd, the man for the moment, comes through, gets taken out of it by Lovell. Kemp comes through. Desperation from all players as he barreled by Barnard.
Essendon have only kicked a point in this last quarter so far, Jarrad, and the Eagles have added 3 goals for.
Well, surely they've got to leave Alessio on the ball now, Lee, with...
Yes, I think so, because really the game's being now played pretty much in Essendon's in the Eagles' forward half, although Essendon now have to score to win.
Well, it's Alessio once again with the Downsborough. Kemp coming through. No free kick. The Eagles fans disappointed. Coming back with courage was Guy McKenna, who takes a pretty good mark on the chest. And no wonder he does it so easily. He keeps his eye on the football at all times. Backing back was Cousins. Another great mark in similar circumstances by this young player who has shown so much here for Perth, for the Eagles this season. Great kick. But coming up with it was Scott Cummings out in front of Mitchell White. And he's actually done pretty well, I think, Cummings on White. A mongrel floater, ricochets through to Kemp. Ball bouncing Eagles' way now, gets it over to McKenna. He's got a loose man wide. Muddy Waterman once again. and he's raising the ball over his hands and suggesting he's going to slow down play. But with 2.5 minutes to go, they're going to have to score another one to be safe.
Kemp has been enormous in the clinches. Enormous.
They're getting down in the midfield in the third quarter, and Kemp's gone in there, and really that's better. Evans and Lovell. Lovell's been very good in this quarter too, and they've been able to wrest the control back, which Essendon had in that third quarter.
Well, from near on 60 metres out, Muddy Waterman to be the match winner for the Eagles. He kicked the last goal. He's got onto this one. It's pretty straight, but it's going to lob short. Sumic couldn't take it, and Wallace, who's done a pretty good job for the Bombers in defence, just rushes it over for another behind. The West Coast Eagles 14-14, 98. It's a 5-point lead now over Essendon, 14-9, 93. Take us home, Robbo.
Well, I think that Essendon, they just have to take a lot of risks now. I mean, they've just got to quickly get a goal to win the game. They've only been able to kick a point. So O'Donnell takes the punt, doesn't quite get hold of it, kicks it straight down the ground. James Hurd, now Mercuri, in turn, kick forward by Barry Young, but only as far as Guy McKenna, and he is such an experienced player. The short kick, gee, that's an indiscretion. That is a shocker by Ben Doolan. 50-metre penalty will put Sikora within scoring distance.
Yes, there's a time for aggression, there's a time for composure and control, and I think that's a wrong time for aggression from Ben Doolan.
He hasn't really had a big day, Ben Doolan. He started on Matera and gave away a 50-metre penalty in the first quarter, from which Matera kicked a goal. And now this 50-metre penalty on Sikora has given this young man the chance to kick his first goal in AFL. And he'll rub salt into the wound if he dobs it. He's hit the post. So 2 behinds to Sikora. But from a result point of view, the Eagles now lead by 6 points, and there's a minute and a half left.
And the draw becomes an option. Scott Cummings on the left foot, needs a mark. Mercuri leads the ball in front of Hetty. Needs to be poised here, does it well, gets around, makes some space. Looking forward for James Hurd, the ball drops short for Cockatoo-Collins, comes back out to Barry Young, he's under siege. In goes Guy McKenna, who's been unbelievable in this last couple of minutes. Hurd couldn't quite take it away, but here comes Smoking Joe. He's kicking the ball high, once again looking for Hurd. The back of the pack came through McIntosh, quick kick off the ground. Mercuri once again under siege, and a great tackle by Evans has come up with perhaps a match-winning tackle. 55 seconds left of this game to play.
So Matera receives the hand pass from Kemp. Matera goes into the pocket, too short. Mark is taken by Fletcher. Still the Bombers a chance to snatch it, but they need 2 or 3 clean possessions to go straight down the ground. Fletcher kicks into the middle of the field. James Hurd up high, couldn't take the mark. It rebounds. Olorenshaw beaten for it. Kick forward by Sikora. It'll land on the goal line. Time will beat the Bombers, you would think. Cummings now. Kicks wide. Doolan, can he make amends for that indiscretion? He kicks in the Berbakoff direction. He can't take the mark. Still there, Morrison. And it's now knocked over. And the boundary throw-in, you would think, will be the last passage of play. It's been a terrific game of football, and the Eagles, 99, lead Essendon 93. Just seconds left. Alessio tries to get it down to Doolan. Kemp. Morrison for the Eagles. Gets a kick, and it has been marked by Cousins. So Cousins will throw the ball in the air. The siren will sound, and the West Coast have won a magnificent game of football here at Subiaco.
Watch for the Jackets.
The points go to the West Coast, but it has been a terrific game between 2 magnificent sides, and the Jackets are going. Have a look at this.
This is big.
14-15 to 14-9. The West Coast win by 6 points, but the Jackets are a-flying at Subiaco.
So a what has been an epic encounter here at Subiaco. The Eagles run out eventual winners 14-15-99. Essendon 14-9-93.